Good morning and TGIF. Thank you for the handoff, Aaron Bree. Great to see Joel in the office there. That's really exciting. And look, I'm just excited as you guys about this Lions game. Fingers crossed. Let's see. But TGIF, we're going to get through Friday first. We're going to try and make some money. We're going to live up to the sign on Dennis's door that says, keep calm and make some money. That's on deck for today. I got 13 in the back. Let's roll.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right. Happy Friday, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Live Trading. We are getting closer and closer to the weekend. We just need to get through this day, and there is some stuff going on today. So let's get in there and break it down like a fraction. You know, I'm bringing my man 13 in today. 13, how you doing this morning? You enjoying Friday?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I had the unfortunate action of losing or using all my creamer for my coffee. It's just the way I like my coffee. Been that way for decades, but I had to improvise, so I busted out the Baileys. So it's gonna get fun today.
We're gonna get spicy right at the open. Good morning, James. Best free content out there. Like James is saying here, don't forget to smash up that like for the show, for the trades, and now especially for 13 on Baileys. We're going to have a rip-roaring good time here today. That is for sure. All right. Happy Friday. Let's go ahead and take a look at the market. Before we take a look at the SPY, I am going to remind you that this stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool, the best prop firm out there. Get up to 260K in buying power. This can really help you get your system dialed in, maybe get over that 25K, maybe put some other money at risk instead of your hard-earned saved money. For whatever your need is, Trade the Pool out there to fill it. Let's get right to it. We're going to start here with the SPY. We continue to just kind of rip on the backs of a lot of earnings here that are driving us to highs. Yesterday's candle looked like an inside day, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here today. Already here in the pre-market, we've traded above yesterday's intraday high, so we're actually have already broken the top end of that candle. Really, the question is going to be, do we continue to move up? Do we pull back? Maybe do we have a sideways day? I think on Friday, it'll be interesting to see what a investor's appetite is for holding positions over the weekend. Looking at the pre-market SPY chart here, it looks like we are coming back in from that new high that we just set. Now, 13, one of the big things that happened this morning, kudos to you. You've actually been talking about this pretty much all week in both live trading and happy hour here. U.S. core PCE price index month over month for December. We got that reading here this morning. That was 0.2% versus 0.2 estimate. The prior reading was 0.1. The core PCE price index year over year for December plus 2.9% versus the 3% estimate. So on the surface, it would look like inflation maybe not so bad, but is there something else to this story?
Well, the Fed had pegged a low end for 2023 for headline inflation when we got 2.6 to be at 2.7 by the end of this by this report, the end of 2023. And their core figures, they were looking for 3.2 by the end of the year. We got 2.9, so we're in much lower than our estimates. And in discussing that with some of the fine gentlemen here in the happy hour, one of them who's a very, very prominent member, put out some very interesting information about how we likely didn't get these the targets they were looking for because China's stimulus never materialized in the way that they were expecting. Mm-hmm. So we got much lower inflation figures than was anticipated. Now, that doesn't mean that the China stimulus is done or is not going to happen. They may still end up doing that, and if that ends up happening, like we get their stimulus this year, it's going to be very, very difficult for the Fed to justify cutting rates. They may keep them at the same, or may even raise them. So that's something that I'm now going to be watching to see what the CCP in China does with their rates.
Okay, now are you looking for anything in particular today on a Friday after this data print, or are you just kind of going to play it by ear depending on whatever we get?
Well, when we look at what the CME FedWatch tool has for expectations on when we're getting cuts based on their next their upcoming meetings, it seems like the market is starting to believe that we're going to see cuts sooner rather than later. I think this is a mistake. We're not going to see cuts sooner than later. We would need a lot of different things would have to happen, which I'm not going to get into. But I don't think we're going to see cuts in the first half of this year, as much as some of the market is pricing that in. I think it's going to, if we are getting cuts this year, it's going to be on the back half of the year, probably sometime in the later of the third quarter or the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I tend to think that's the case too. I don't think we're going to get as many as some people anticipate, and I don't think they're going to come as soon as some anticipate. Okay, good outlook there on the SPY. Thanks very much, 13. We will continue to monitor and assess what we see here in the market. Next, we're going to take a look at some of these movers. We got about 13 minutes till the market opens here today, so we're doing all right here this morning. First one on the list, actually, it looks like it just changed here, but first one that I had on the list here is Acon. Definitely one that we've traded a number of times before. This is one that the chat likes to use the ticker name to sing Akon songs. That's A-K-O-N. So Akon, this is definitely a popular one here. We did pop as high as like 480. Now we've come back in considerably, and actually we were extending away from the VWAP. So part of me wonders if we hold here, if we're going to have a move back to the VWAP, which would give us an upside trade here. When we take a look at the news here, I really didn't see a whole lot of anything. There was an analysis yesterday afternoon regarding the short interest, but I don't really see any fresh news here on Acon, so it looks like just kind of a technical move. One of the things that we're going to do is use those in order to trade this. Now, what the next thing that I want to see here on Acon is maybe a firming up. It could even come down to 3. Maybe it firms at 3, and then a move back towards that VWAP. We'll see if that materializes here. All right, yeah. So I see that you're battling some of the comments there regarding your Baileys. Good, keep that up.
Yeah. Oh, and smoke tuna. That's fine if it's for girls. I have to work with what I got, and I don't have any creamer right now, and this is the next best thing. I'm not going to just put straight milk in there.
It's just before 8:30, and you're already putting Baileys in your coffee. Who's got it better than 13 this morning? Nobody's got it better than 13. We're doing all right. Next here on the list is going to be CRBP. That is Corbus Pharmaceuticals. Now we do have a catalyst here. This one ripping to the upside here. Stock was $8 yesterday, pretty much a double up as we're up 90% here in the pre-market. Corbus Pharmaceutical shares are trading higher after the company announced data from the first in-human clinical study of CRB701 is being presented as a poster by its development partner CSPC Pharmaceutical at ASCO-GU 2024. Did you get all those acronyms in there? I sure hope so. Anyway, we have we have a PR here about some good data from a clinical study in inhuman trials. CRBP absolutely ripping here today. You can see from the pattern that it's made already in the pre-market, big impulse moves up, then corrective moves back to the VWAP where it is held each time, and then another impulsive move to the top. What I will say is that eventually this pattern is going to end, but I can't tell you exactly when that pattern is going to end. So we're going to be watching this for some repeatable patterns and some entry or in some quality entries into the stock. I beg your pardon. Easy for me to say.
A couple things about this one is that this was getting news about the drug presentation, the trial presentation that broke the news this morning. They've been on this for some time, and the stock just never got noticed or it really moved. And now we're getting this news that's causing it to move. If you go back through the news feed, they mentioned what they were doing for some time now. So this kind of went under everybody's radar. They got a 4.4 million float, so this is not going to be too difficult to push around. And I know it's a little bit far out, but they had a 1-for-30 reverse split last February, so we're coming up to almost a year on that, and we're still making this kind of movement. Another thing about Acon, they also had a very low float, 1-for-16 reverse split on the 4th of January this year, and as a result, that has created high short interest for them.
Okay. Yeah. Good stuff there. CRBP, we've talked a lot about some of those reverse splits not really working out. Well, so far, this one actually looks pretty good. right? Getting some good news along with some good price movement. So we'll see if that continues here, but good due diligence there. I was actually poking around the short interest here on CRBP, and it is negligible. There's basically nothing.
Yeah.
There's basically nothing in there. So, okay, next on the list here is going to be PBLA, and there was some folks in the chat already looking at PBLA. Rick, good morning. Good to see you. Looking at PBLA here, we have two impulsive moves to the top. We have one corrective move that pretty much retraced almost the entire first move here. The concern that I have, obviously, right now is that we're under VWAP, but the good news here is that we're holding this 450-ish area, 450 to 470. We'll see if we continue to bounce from there, maybe close that distance to the VWAP, trade above it, and maybe even go on a run on PBLA. Let me flip over to the news tab here on PBLA. As you can see, we did have some news yesterday afternoon, but that news really isn't fresh. I didn't see anything new here this morning. Nonetheless, stock up 50% here in the pre-market. So keep that in your trading plan. Factor that into your risk profile. If we take a look at the daily chart here, you can see this stock not great, right? Really, really not great. Extremely beaten down, which might account for the pop that we're seeing here today. But again, take a longer term view on this one. Not looking all that great, to be quite honest with you.
To continue with the reoccurring theme that we're seeing with these really low float movers, this one has just did a reverse split on the 18th, and it's also got a very low float. So there's it had a 20-for-1 reverse split on the 18th, and the float is under 500K. It's 480,000 shares, and we've already traded
mega low float.
We've already traded almost 10 times that in pre-market.
Yep. So looks like as we were talking right there, this thing spiked to 5 and immediately stopped there. We'll see if we can actually get above that 5, also above that VWAP there. So PBLA definitely in play here today as well. Now, next stock on the list here is going to be Mara and Riot. And we'll also talk about coin in here, SOXS. That's the short semiconductor ETF. I actually am interested in that, but per our discussion yesterday in half the hour, I'm probably going to wait for that to reverse split before I end up buying it so I don't hold it through the split. We'll see if that materializes. But Bitcoin here, Bitcoin up 3.67% here on the futures chart. That is driving Mara and Riot. You can see here's the pre-market 1-minute chart of Mara. That actually looks strong. Looks like it's going for those 1765 highs thereabouts. Riot chart looking very, very similar, both bullish looking, especially at the moment. And then also worth noting here is going to be coin. Now, coin this morning, in addition to moving with Bitcoin, we also had a rating here this morning. So Coinbase shares trading higher after Oppenheimer upgrades the stock from perform to outperform. Let me see if we had a price target with there. Yeah, price target's going to be 160 on coin here, currently at about 127, just below that there. So coin moving with Bitcoin, but also has an upgrade today. This might be strong all day. Another one to keep our eyes on. Of course, we want to keep our eyes on Tesla. They reported earnings recently. We've been talking a lot about the EV market being weak here. Tesla really kind of coming off that 180 bottom. So far, we're holding this, but we want to see how this trades when the market actually opens. We're a little bit higher here today. Let's see if the lows were put in and what other types of trades we have here on Tesla.
With Tesla, you might get a pretty decent bounce. I'm not suggesting that this is going to, completely reverse, but the RSI going into that report yesterday was already low, and then we have the report pulling it down from over 200 to now it got as low as almost 180 yesterday. So that's a very, very low RSI that it has right now. So I'd expect there to be some kind of technical bounce in the short term.
And real quick, great comment here from Jay Rice. Jay Rice saying the VIX, by the way, it's hard to imagine given some of the moves in the market that we've had. VIX has been green the past 3 days. So really, I have a low print here of 1241, really kind of coming off that mid 12 level. The last time that we saw it in the mid to low 12s, we bounced in the VIX as well. So looking like maybe we'll continue that here today. Let's see where the VIX closes.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at the VIX as well. Yeah, move on, because that was a good point about the VIX.
Yeah, I was just going to move on to EVTV here, which is a smoke tuna mention. I will go ahead and take a look at any of the other stocks that you folks have from the chat. We do have just under 4 minutes until the market opens here. EVTV, this is Envirotech Vehicles. You can see here this popped this morning just about as high as 160, really kind of come back in holding that VWAP here. Let's see if there's any news on this one. Looks like we did get some news after the close yesterday. Envirotech Vehicles announces EPA Clean School Bus Grant Program award for $8.57 million for 25 of its fully electric school buses. So it looks like school bus news making some more rounds there. And that is popping EVTV here today. Stock's about $1.31 right here. Also noticing that penny to stock tickers JAGX, which we've traded a number of times, and PHUN also on the relative volume scanner. We'll see if those pick up. I'm not going to trade those. And then, of course, CRBP. This sure seems to be the ripper of the day. This thing's still pressing new highs. Every time I've looked at this stock here, it's pressed new highs. Alexander wants to look at AMD. This is the daily ask for AMD here. We actually had some gentlemen in the happy hour saying that they had made some pretty good shorts off this, thinks that this actually sets up for an epic short. AMD, of course, moving up to the upside on the backs of AI. They've been touting their new AI chip quite a bit. It still seems to me like they're lagging behind NVIDIA, but let's see if the AI tide is big enough to raise all boats or rise all boats. Hang on. Hey. Sorry, my my cat was trying to kill my bird there, so had to get back to that. So AMD, I know we pulled back yesterday. Let's see if we come back into any of the support levels here on AMD. I have no position on this, down about 2.5% here this morning. I think if the market's weak, you might see some more pull here on AMD. Geraldine wants to take a look at SMCI. So pretty much the only thing that you folks have suggested here this morning is tech. That has me leading to believe that tech seems to be on the radar for most people here. SMCI, if you take a look at the daily chart, this has also really been strong, really strong breakout out of this consolidation area that goes all the way back to July 2023. SMCI continuing to break out here. Now, it did get rejected right up here at about 500, I think that is. So let's see if it's got the strength to move through there. You have anything on AMD or SMCI?
Well, I also noticed he was pointing out NVIDIA. So yeah, tech seems to be on the minds of everybody, especially with that PCI print. The thing about SMCI is that we did have a pretty good run that started to show some pretty long wicks at the top here. I would like to see it hold above 429 or in that area, but still kind of cool off, come down there, because we do have a pretty extended RSI. So if we get some cooling off in here, there could be another move up for this one. But I think 429 is the level it needs to hold.
Okay, there you go. And then one more thing that I wanted to mention here, just to let you folks know, I did take a swing trade on Humana yesterday. I used the options market in order to capture this. I opened up a May butterfly, trying to capture a bounce back to the mean here on Humana. Again, sell off really big, a huge move for this stock. Humana, I think that this has kind of an artificial floor under it with all of the institutional ownership that it has. So I am long a May butterfly here on Humana. If you actually want I'll give you the wings and body of that. We've got the wings.
10 seconds.
Okay, thank you. We've got the wings at 400 and 450 and the body at 425 for anyone interested. Okay, market's about to open. Let's get ready to roll. 13, happy Friday. Let's get it done.
Let's do it, guys.
And gals.
And girls. Don't want to leave them out either. Looks like, I'm looking at all kinds of things, including past runners. Looks like DWAC wants to try to break 36.50 out the open. So there's some attention happening there. Vera
from yesterday pushing to highs here. And actually, let me see. Yeah. I don't think. By the way, Visa reported earnings traded lower here. That's bouncing here today. It'll be interesting to see where Visa finishes.
Let me close some of these since we're done talking about it. Yeah, Vera, man, that was that
is not halted. That is still moving. Sorry.
Yeah, that had quite a move yesterday. And the next level I have for Vera is 2820. Looks like the SQQQ is doing better, but that might change today if they don't like or if they like the PCE report and with the rate sentiment.
CRBP still holding near its highs here. Let me bring up my trading platform here and trade the pool. Boom, boom. We're gonna go to this one.
CRBP
Boom,
is just ripping out the gate.
Yep, I'm gonna load that up here. Now I'm not gonna chase this move here on CRBP, but here it is. You can see we're just straight up pushing. Now a little bit of a pullback there. This thing very, very wild, very active trading. Just be careful on this one. Looks like maybe we're reversing there.
Yeah, I just looked at the daily chart, and this is a pretty sizable gap up. So that could fill back on the way down. Be careful with that one.
Yeah.
Let's take
PRCH, good call here. Smoke tuna. This popping off the open. This one not on the radar at all. Porch group. This pushing right here, right out of that 260 consolidation area in the pre-market. We went as high as what? 288. It looks like 288 on that.
What is the news with
Steve mentioning snow? Let's take a look here at snow.
Snow
move down here. First move down here. Actually, sorry, 13. Next support here on snow, I'd have it about 198.5. Go ahead, my man.
No, we were talking about snow a couple of days ago in Happy Hour.
Yeah,
this was a trade idea. The thing about PRCH, they had news after hours yesterday, and I think that's fueling the move here.
No question. This actually moved up in the after hours. Did a really good job holding on fairly low volume here this morning too on Porch Group, pushing away here. This actually might be more of a swing. You take a look at the hourly chart here, quite bullish. And what do we have? 270. Looks like the move here today is just taking us above the 20-day simple moving average on the daily chart. So maybe we'll have some more room to continue moving up there.
It's a squeeze too. Definitely a squeeze. High days to cover, pretty decent shorted interest.
There you go. We're seeing some levels line up above this. Real quick, Chuck asking a question here. Ryan, what do you think of waiting until 9:45, no earlier, before I start trading? Thinking of that being my trading plan. Chuck, that has actually been my exact trading plan for quite a bit. And in fact, I think there are others here in the room that have practiced the same thing. Smoke Tuna, looking at you here. I'm pretty sure that we've done this here before. You know, I think anything that you do to kind of get a better feel for what's going on is probably going to be in your favor. So for me, I often get faked out by some of the moves right out of the open. We talked the other day about a gentleman that had a earnings winner and sold it when we had that little bit of a profit dip in the first 15 minutes, and then the stock skyrocketed after that. So lots of back and forth and little kind of reversals in the first 15 minutes. I definitely like waiting that out. I feel like if I'm patient, I end up doing better on average. So quite all right.
Looks like Rail Vision wants to keep going.
RVSN, that's been a rager, dude.
And we've been talking about this one for a while. Yeah, Marcus, you're absolutely right. It looks like it still has juice. And the interesting thing is we were talking about this yesterday in our happy hour. And one of the things we noticed is that this is probably a big benefactor of the Inflation Reduction Act and the one prior to that. I'm trying to think of the name, but it was the one that was supposed to the Infrastructure and Jobs Creation Act. I think that's what it was called. That one is helping these non-green names move because some of that money is actually getting deployed. And this is one such area where it's getting deployed in this rail monitoring systems at RVSN. And what was that other one that we had? Let me take a look real quick. Because there's another relationship play here with this one.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. I can't place it either. I'm actually going through some of the other ones. Interrupt me, 13, when you come across that. I'm sure you have it there in your notes. PBLA here actually moving right above the VWAP here. We'll see if we take off that 536 on PBLA. PRCH doing a really good job holding above 275. That might actually make another run at the highs. Do we dare try that? CRBP halt. That is halted to the upside, 1927. Good morning, Born. It's great to see you. Juan, good call there on the CRBP. AXP, you were mentioning American Express. This is one of the reasons the Dow was so strong here this morning. Obviously, we had Visa down, but American Express, this up nicely here, still pushing out of the gate, taking that next leg up from the market open. American Express, really strong.
Yeah, I didn't write it down, so I'm having a hard time trying to find it.
Me too. And you know what, 13, I get so confused with all these tickers. I mix them up all the time. I want to make sure that I quote the right one. But basically what we're looking for are other potential companies that could benefit from some of this infrastructure spending. That's kind of what we saw here in Rail Vision. So there might be other plays for us to find.
And we're looking for plays that don't have to deal with green energy, since those are really starting to be out of favor right now. We want the ones that are not green energy plays.
Acon here, maybe curling off that initial dip. Let's see if we can actually move back towards the VWAP here on Acon.
I want to see Acon get through 328. All right, let me take a look at some of these other ones.
Nick saying Vera's still going here. I'm kind of waiting for a potential Acon trade here.
Wow. Yeah, it's up to 31.50. And then after that, 33.50.
Man, Vera, what a move out of that. What's 18? Yeah, 18. Hey, there's that breakout and that huge gap on Vera. Just a huge move. All good, Nick. You're good.
Oh, you mentioned that CRBP was halted, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. What else is going on here? I'm just not seeing anything that I want to get into at the moment.
Yeah, Acon's trying to hold 3. I know we got Tuna looking at this here. Just doesn't have the strength yet, but we've seen this here before. You know what? I'm no guts, no glory. It's Friday. We're going to go small. We're going to take some Acon here. 303 entry here on Acon. We'll see if we can actually move back towards that VWAP. Snap down towards 290. We'll just have kind of a tight stop here. See, I've got the bottom here at 272. That first pull here was 272. And as soon as I bought, the day trading has been ridiculous for me. As soon as I buy things, they immediately sell off. Just been very, very frustrating. Still in Acon here. Looks like maybe just kind of a flush there. Yeah, Cleo, I know. It's frustrating.
Jaquami, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Jaquami Williams. Any technical on NVIDIA? The best guess that I have is that it's going to hit 650. And because it's just really extended, and I wouldn't be surprised if we start to come in now, but the market might not. They might have other plans. I just don't like the RSI being this high. It's looking like it's starting to curl, so that's encouraging. But this thing could, get a bit of news and just continue to rip. So until I start seeing some more topping out, hopefully it doesn't go too much higher than 650. Then I'll be more confident that we're going to come back in. But I don't know at the moment where this is headed quite yet.
Looking at NVIDIA on another chart here. I mean, that it just continues to amaze, doesn't it? NVIDIA, you think, but maybe it'll take a break here. Maybe it's time to get a short ready. Maybe it's time to trade this to the downside. And NVIDIA is like, nope, we're going higher here. We're going higher. Got price targets all the way up to 1100.
Yeah, it looks like RCH is still trying to go higher. It's trying to get that $3 high it made in pre-market. I apologize, I didn't have levels set up today for some of these, and for some reason, some of the levels I had in others aren't there anymore. Fortunately, they're still there for Vera, so that might be helpful for us.
All right, Acon moving up here. Actually, they brought a bid right beneath it, but that bid got hit, so we might come back in here. Next size that I have here is going to be at 320 on Acon. Remember, 354 is the VWAP. That's really where I'd like this to be able to go.
My concern with Acon is that if we don't get above like 328, 330 soon, we might go lower.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. I'm gonna make sure that I do not actually lose on this trade, because we've been doing too much of that recently. That is for sure. Gonna put a stop there at 308. Let's see if we take the high off here and run.
Well, I'll tell you what, Beach Bum, I can't say for sure if they're rotating into NVIDIA since it's kind of moving down right now, but I don't believe that money's leaving the market. I believe that it is rotation. So to your point, it's just something, it's just moving it from one place to another, redeploying that capital. Acon, we're coming up to that level that I was talking about that I want us to get over. If we can break through that, that'll be good.
You know what I might do here? We can break over this 325.
Oh,
I might
there you
just
go.
take the gains off the table, get some green on the screen, and break the schneid. Honestly,
There you go. Put it in your pocket, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, at this point, it might just be one of those mental things, right? Just get a win on your side. I know it's only $60 here, but whatever. Get a win on your side and let's go. Come on, Akon. Let's pop
Absolutely.
a little bit more here and get back towards that VWAP.
Or start easing out. Just start easing out.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 300 shares, so I might as well take this and roll it. There we go. There's the pop that we were looking for on Akon. There we go, Smoke Tuna. Let's go.
And then
what we do here at 340.
DWAC is just ripping over this 3650 level that I had.
Booked Akon finally. 1 for 1. Got some green on the screen. Let's go. Breaking the schneid here. Breaking the schneid here. Way to go, Smoke Tuna. Jay Rice, good to see you this morning. Hopefully you're doing well. Mentioning that IWM liked the number here this morning. Hey, look, if IWM wants to lead to the upside, Jay, I'm going to be perfectly fine with that. I will take that. Most of my swing holdings in my regular portfolio here are, in fact, microcap. So that I'll take it. I mean, I'll take it. DWAC getting mentioned here in the chat. Let's see what's going on with DWAC.
Yeah, it's breaking out.
It sure is. So we talked a lot about some of the different events that might cause DWAC to move over the next month. We had events going through February up until the first week of March for Super Tuesday. So it seems like there's a bunch of other events that might produce headlines that drive the stock here.
Yeah, I can give you those dates because I practically memorized them now. So you got February 6th and 8th. That's gonna be the Nevada primary dates because they do two. They have like a party run and a state run primary caucus. You're also getting Virgin Islands, but those two states, there's not that many delegates, so you're not going to have. It's not going to have really big stakes. The big stakes are going to be on February 24th when they have their primary in South Carolina, which is where Nikki Haley was governor for 2011 to 2017. So if Trump beats her there, then I think DWAC could really see some big moves off of that. Of course, even if she drops out at some point, we're going to probably get big moves off that. Then, of course, there's the 27th of February, which is when they go to Michigan for that primary. If Haley hasn't dropped out by then, I'd expect that she will very shortly. I don't see her lasting much longer between South Carolina and Michigan. And then after that, we have Super Tuesday on March 5th. That's when many of the states have their primaries. So those are some dates to watch out for. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. And when we first talked about this, we talked about some other dates. This might be a multi-day move. It's great to see that is exactly what happened. Taking a look at some other stocks that are moving around here. Tesla had a nice little strong open there, but an immediate reversal here. That's that reversal within those 15 minutes that we were just talking about, huh? Looks like Tesla moving here towards the lows. We'll see if we get a entry spot here. First spot that I'd be looking at for be about a 182, 183 handle. See what happens when we get down there. Tesla moving lower here. Taking a look at some of the other tech stocks. Apple also looks like this is a little bit stronger, but moving lower here. Let's take a look at NVIDIA real quick. NVIDIA just kind of holding in there. AMD, we got asked about earlier. AMD going higher here, so that continuing its move up. Interesting there on AMD. SMCI, another tech name that we got asked about earlier, that also trading up here. So Market Sniper mentioning Rumble. Sorry for hopping around. I just want to make sure I get to a lot of these here. Rumble been really strong out of the open, staying above the VWAP. Looks like 6 incoming here on Rumble.
RVSN is holding the VWAP, but it's slowed down and it's got some pretty good size at about 825 to 840. Get through that and we're probably really moving it with this thing. Just something I'm watching for the moment.
Yeah, RVSN, the actual number I have here is 840, spot on. What's up, Manny? Good to see you. Hopefully you're having a great Friday.
Hey there. DWAC, look at this thing go. I don't know exactly when moves like this will happen. I don't understand why we're doing this. It's doing this now. Maybe there's some news that I just didn't see. But this thing just gets pushed around like crazy. And I don't think it's that low float either.
DWAC just big mover here.
Yeah, this is a dangerous one to hold though. So just keep that in mind.
Humana higher today, so that swing trade open via the butterfly looking all right here today. Want to see that continue to move up. It would be awesome if it was able to close this gap up to 402, but that might be asking for a little too much. Looks like Vera. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say Acon might be going here, trying to get back up to VWAP. I'm sure Vera's looking good too. Front running elections quantum, I could see that. All right.
Acon, so this is an important discussion here. The target that we had here was VWAP. Acon is making a move towards the VWAP. It's actually higher than where I sold it, but given the performance this week, I don't even care about that. The fact that I booked gains here is great. The other thing that's worth noting here is that target looked to be pretty good. Acon seems to be slowing down as it approaches that VWAP. Not to say that it can't bust through it, but at least on this first move back towards the mean here, definitely looks like it's slowing down closer to that VWAP. We'll see what happens. We're going to keep our eyes on that. Acon might not be done. Vera looking like this is trying to take the next leg up. This is one I wish I caught the other day. This one good. CRBP, are we open there? It's like we are. Looks like we made a little bit of a move back towards the VWAP, and it didn't quite get there. And looks like we're bouncing here on CRBP.
Yeah, they're just having a little bit of a fight there. What else we got here? I mean, man, DWAC. It's crazy how this will just go like $10 in 10 minutes. This thing is crazy.
But that's why traders like it, right? You get that juice.
Yeah.
That juice is what they're looking for on those potential trades. By the way, PRCH, good mention here from earlier. This holding higher. This did look like it was going to make a run at 3. Did not quite get there. We on this pullback down towards the mean here. We didn't quite get to VWAP 280. Current price 275 is what I've got that VWAP here. PRCH looking like it's doing a good job holding in here. Volume looks pretty good. We get any more types of volume expansion, I do think a move towards and through 3 is possible.
I was just looking at one a second ago because it was getting interesting. It wasn't that one. I wish I just hadn't clicked off of that, but I'll find it.
Levi Strauss moving higher here after earnings. Interesting note is that the first move yesterday after the report was down. It slowly got bought back up to balance, but today we're actually setting highs on this 3-minute chart. Nothing but buying power, buying candles. Excuse me.
Still looking at Acon.
Nice little strategy here. Sorry for interrupting you again, 13. Nice little strategy comment here from Jay Rice. My experience, companies like Tesla that miss earnings, pops get sold, and companies that beat, dips get bought. Pretty universal thing there that you can trade on earnings.
Yeah, if the weakness looks good and the company still has good fundamentals, it's still a strong company. Yeah, those buy that weakness. It's what I like to do. Still waiting for some of these to move. It looks like PRCH is still holding above VWAP, but it is slowed down. Still waiting to see if Acon does something with this move or up to VWAP.
I'm definitely seeing some fade out of the open here on the broader markets. We're kind of moving lower, and on some of the individual names as well.
Yep, just cycling through some things right now. See what we can find. Even the older names. IBM Alexander, that had a great report.
Sure did. This was a great buy in the 120s.
Oh, good. Nike's wishing back up. That one was kind of getting tired over the past several days. So
EYPT, our good old iPoint friend here, pushing towards the highs 26.25 on iPoint. Nice little move here.
Asking about AT&T steady user. I own AT&T and I've owned it for a while, and I held it all through the down move that it had. But I think that it's going to have a better year, just because we have Verizon and T-Mobile looking like they're going to have a good year, so that it may move up in relation with that. They've got some headwinds, but it's got great cash flow, and I think that's going to be important going into some of these recessionary times that I think that we're going to end up still getting later on this year.
Also worth noting, T-Mobile reported earnings yesterday. As far as the price action, the first move was down. It's green now. So red to green move here on T-Mobile here in the pre-market. RVSN getting mentioned here. That is moving higher here. That broke out of that 840 that 13 talked about earlier. High print here, 870. We'll see what's on deck here for RVSN.
Yeah, this thing is just a monster every day so far. Vera all the way up to 33
prints on Vera. What an absolute monster.
Yeah, and
Rumble
DWAC's
looks like that might be testing 6.
And I think DWAC is going to push to 40 soon here.
You're only 30 cents away on that 40 move.
Yep. All right, still waiting for Acon to do something. PRCH, it's held VWAP. It's still slow moving, but it looks like it might be trying to reverse and make another attempt at 3.
This looks to me like it's flagging here. So the question to me on this 3-minute chart, do we break up or down on PRCH out of this flag? That's what I'd be looking for here as a potential trade.
Well, if it holds VWAP, I think we're going up. What else?
I have VWAP at 276, by the way, on PRCH. I think you're right on that one. Jay Rice mentioning Intel regarding what you were just talking about in terms of the earnings beats and earnings misses. Intel, case in point, traded up to 45 in the pre-market, but is now selling off. So, of course, Intel reported earnings yesterday. They sold off. Looks like we were trying to bounce here in the pre-market, but to Jay's point, another leg down here. If it snaps, let's see, what do I got here on this? 43.15 to the downside. Some more downside likely coming here. I have the intraday low at 43.45, by the way, on Intel.
DWAC went through 40, and now it's retreating.
So there you go. It punched that 40 level out and pulled, and now it's going to discover a new level. Yeah, Elon saying Intel's so weak in AI offerings. That was another discussion that we had in the happy hour. It seems like the tech names that are winners all have AI angles. The ones that don't really being punished, case in point, Intel.
Yes, that has been a big topic that we've discussed. And it seems as though all the companies that are behind in the AI game right now are the ones that are going to be getting hurt the most. So you have Intel, you have Apple as well. They're pretty late to the game. But the ones that are doing really well already have products that are getting bought up, like NVIDIA's servers. Microsoft has been in the AI game. IBM has been in the AI game for a while, and they already have products. So one of the things we were also talking about is business solutions regarding AI, and IBM's right in the middle of that space. Acon not looking pretty good here. We started breaking down.
Hey, so you're saying that my sell was pretty good? That I did a good job taking the green and making sure I booked some gains instead of taking L's? Yes, I will take that. That is, look, we are out here trying to celebrate a Friday. We got 13 with Bailey's in his coffee. We got me making green trades. Like, we're doing good today. We're doing good today.
For Acon, I see some size at 280. That's where my 200 EMA is on the 5-minute. If we get down there, that looks like a spot that it could get some support.
See if we end up getting that. Smash up the like for my guy 13 here. Trade the pool Friday. All of the good stuff. Let's go ahead and get those likes. That is really awesome of you folks to give us likes and views. That is really how you can support us. It doesn't cost anything. We want to keep it free. 13, very generous with his time, loves the community and wants to give back to the community. So we can't thank him enough. Least we can do is click that like button.
All right, folks. See anything that's setting up? I'm cycling through as well.
Yeah, I'm looking around at some of my charts. I don't have the Twitter streets up yet. I also am just kind of out of the corner of my eye looking at Humana. Really happy with this one, at least so far. Would love to see Humana really kind of round that 370. That would really put this butterfly into some really healthy profits. So we'll see what happens there on Humana.
We were getting some polls in some of the ones that we were just talking about that were running. Like Rail Vision had a poll, actually had a knife. Vera is polling
through the VWAP. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And then let's see, we have Acon still holding up there. Hasn't quite hit that EMA I was talking about a second ago. DWAC now under 40. but I'm not going to write that one off. That can be whatever it wants it to be.
I was going to say that one. We can't write that one off for a while here. Scotty saying he's long 13 in the chat. So nice trade there. Long 13 at a support level here.
Oh, man. I don't have a good comeback for that one yet.
That's okay. That's okay. Your dad jokes are flowing well, so we'll just take those as you have them. Webcoin mentioning that PBLA picking up here. Let's see if PBLA is setting. Actually, this isn't bad here, Webcoin. Not bad. We got a VWAP here at 5 on PBLA. Maybe we can actually punch above this. Actually, they brought a bid in beneath. Do I just got spread out there.
Juan, is it fun time? Oh, it had a nice pop. But
of course, the penny stock version of DWAC is what I'll call it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we can write it off as. This thing just moves with DWAC and anything that's related to the Trump campaign. It looks like it's trying to get some EMA crossings at the VWAP, so I'm not sure if we're going to see upside in this again or not, but maybe.
I love hearing this. This is really great. So real quickly here, Jay saying AMD, I still think the highs yesterday won't be seen for a while. It's just too expensive. Jay, You are not the only person with this opinion. In fact, there was a gentleman in our happy hour yesterday really laying out the same case that you are. And in fact, day trading around his short, right? You trying to short AMD in little chunks. And doing that on the day, but has pretty much the exact same thesis that you do. Also says that might be a little bit behind in the AI name. So good to hear that. Like to see experienced traders lining up on the same side. That is awesome.
CRBP is making new highs now. And Lumen from yesterday is also ripping pretty well here.
Yeah, sure. Real quickly on the CRBP, what we like to see about this is the type of tradable formation that we're looking for. Now, we didn't quite get down to the VWAP, at least not the VWAP here and trade the pool, but the action was exactly what we're looking for. Nice impulse move out of the open, regression to the mean back towards the VWAP here. And now we've actually pushed back towards the highs, taken those highs, and we're holding up here at 2071. In fact, no, I do not have this halted at the moment. And halted. Never mind. It just needed to wait a few seconds. CRBP halted to the upside here, 2071. This is the second halt of the day.
DWAC came in and tested VWAP, and it seems like it's getting a bounce off it. I don't know that it's going to get a good reversal here. We could go through VWAP, but just if you're trading this one, maybe we're getting some good support. It's down to a previous level, so watch that one. PRCH porch, that formation we were talking about is really starting to take shape here. You're just mentioning the flag pattern that we were looking at with PRCH. Now it's starting to resolve. We're looking for the $3 that it got in pre-market.
I tell you what, that entry at the VWAP was choice. I was debating it. I didn't. It's okay. But that one worked. Acon holding that 306, by the way. Vera back down under 32. Actually back down under 31.50 there on Vera as well. Looking around here, folks. How's everyone else doing out there on this fine Friday? What are you guys and gals looking for? What do you see out there? PRZO. Maybe trying to curl here on the penny stock PRZO.
And
maybe.
ADW Texas is mentioning PayPal. We were talking about that one, and I don't. ADW, were you reading or watching those videos they put out about their new products? I don't know if you did or not, but I didn't feel really good about what they were trying to push. Very, very old tech, in my opinion.
Yeah. So real quickly here, PRCH we just mentioned here, looking like this might actually break the highs of the day. Currently at 290, highs of the day 293. Look for that pop. PRCH. Now on PayPal, we talked about this yesterday on the Happy Hour show. If you take a look at the intraday chart yesterday, you'll notice that they really just kind of fell out of bed here. Now they had this presentation. They have been teasing all of these great things, and then the things that they talked about were stuff like cashback and smart receipts.
Oh.
13, to your point, it fell very, very flat. It did seem outdated. I think we had a gentleman yesterday in the happy hour that said this felt like 5 or 10 years behind the curve, and the company was hyping it like it was something great. Okay. So
that was me. I said it felt, because the things that they're coming out with are just, other companies have already done it. Meta's done it. Google's done it. Amazon's done it. They've done it for years. And now they're coming out here and touting this like it's some new revolutionary thing that no one's done. As Jay Rice just put it, they overpromised and underdelivered.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Bingo.
So,
bingo. So ADW Texas said he was not impressed either.
Yeah.
So
that's why it's slipping on a banana.
Now PayPal is here. Let me actually get the date here for you, because I believe PayPal is slated to report earnings here in the next 12 days. So Wednesday, February 7th, after the market closes, PayPal is going to be reporting earnings. We do have some gentlemen in the happy hour that think PayPal might surprise in that earnings. One thing to keep in mind here is that the stocks that have really been beaten down going into earnings, I beg your pardon for not sharing this, stocks that are really beaten down going into earnings have been the ones that have popped. So maybe that's what you get here on PayPal. But given what we saw yesterday, tough to kind of feel that way.
Yeah. Oh, EKS mentioning Xerox. We were talking about that too, and I also mentioned I could bring somebody in who's in that space to have a discussion or Q&A on that if we wanted.
Yeah. So let me pause right there and talk about that here real quick. 13. First of all, what I wanted to mention before we talk about Xerox here, Netflix popping. Good call there, Duke the Fool. Big pop here on Netflix. We did see Apple trade back up. Tesla's really kind of holding in the same spot. We actually just took a look at AMD, NVIDIA popping. NVIDIA popping here and AMD popping here, albeit back to the VWAP. Now, real quickly on Xerox. So first of all, let's tell the story about the boots on the ground thing, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Is that going to be okay? So at the happy hour, and if anyone has a trade, please interrupt. But at the happy hour, one of the things that we try to do is bring in people that have different expertise to give you opinions and information. And we feel like the overall thesis there is that the more informed the investor is, the better decisions that they can make. We try to give you boots on the ground intel whenever possible. 13 here was very, very helpful in lining up one of his lining up one of his friends that actually owns an organic farm. And we had a great conversation, talked about his operations, talked about, I believe it was Prop 12 in California and how that was going to change the landscape. And then we also got a number of great questions from the group that we can apply to other public companies, perhaps. So your suggestion then was, hey, I know somebody. And keep me honest here. Was it somebody that works for Xerox, familiar with Xerox? What was the relationship?
No, it's my friend has a business that he runs, that he was running with his father. His father, owns it, but he moved to New York, so he's not running that with him anymore. But he told me yesterday, once that enters your blood, it doesn't leave. You live and breathe copiers. So he's basically a small business that sells and leases and repairs copiers, and also has contracts for service with them. So they've been doing pretty well, and gave me insight that the copier space isn't dead yet, and it might not be for a while.
Okay, and we're going to see if we can line up yet another guest for that. That is really exciting. Really quickly, while we were talking here, CRBP opened, ripped to the upside. We are now halted for the third time, this time to the upside, 2255 WIS. Are you in this WIS? Are you trading this one? Because what a monster move. Monster move here on CRBP. This is definitely the stock of the day. AMSC being mentioned by Smoke Tuna. I feel like we've taken a look at this one quite a bit here. AMSC, nice little pop through the VWAP up towards those highs. Look like we have an intraday double top here near 14 on that 3-minute chart. We'll see if AMSC can pop through the top here.
I noticed that it's not moving too great, but B Frog had a pop out of up to 7, and it came back in. I don't know that we're going to see a whole lot out of this one, but I thought it was interesting that it had that pop above the 200 EMA.
All right, Acon moving back up towards that VWAP here. Remember, the last time that we got to this level, we knifed pretty substantially. Let's see what happens here on Acon.
ENSC is making some regular session highs here. Actually beat the pre-market highs.
And that's still around that 160 level. Remember 165, one of those key levels that we took a look at. By the way, PRCH, we talked about that one here, made a double top and actually pulled through the view app. Let's see if PRCH sets up again here.
Yep. Couldn't get to 3. It's interesting though. We got the SQQQ doing much better today.
Yeah, the NASDAQ looks to be the weakest here. In fact, let me take a look at NASDAQ leading the way down here. Only down just about 0.5% here on the Qs, but that is your downside leader here so far today. Remember the Dow, some of these other indices up on the backs of earnings, namely American Express. Yeah, Netflix at the highs here, printed 570 and came back in 13. I'm sorry.
It's okay. The QQQs and the SPY, yeah, they're both showing some weakness today. So we're probably going to not see these names run as much as they used to. Usually when we have down days like this, they profits get taken much quicker. Runs don't last as long. It's just, kind of the overall market just giving other traders the idea, well, things might not be so good today. So, take it while you can. I mean, look at DWAC, went up to 40.50 and now we're all the way back down to 37.75. So profits could be taken quickly.
EKS mentioning SAVE down 17.5% here. SAVE at 596 right now. We talked about this one being a potential bounce play, but also a potential bankruptcy play. The stock continues to move down. It did after that initial big knife. We bounced a little bit. Now it looks like we're going to roll back over. I'd be curious to know what happens when we test 580 here. Really not that far away. And actually 568 was made in the pre-market or right around the open there. So it'll be interesting to see where we go there.
Acon's now trying. Yeah, it's got a touch VWAP. Yep. It's trying to push up now.
And there's a little bit of size there that they just took at 341. Acon might be moving through that VWAP here now. No position, already booked gains on this first day trade here today.
Yep, that one is getting some attention now. We can
good call on this one, Tuna. Good call on this one. You were early both times on this one.
We're just talking about DD as well.
Yeah,
what was the conversation on that one? I forget.
So DD, this is a great question, 13, and thank you for reminding me because hot damn, I talked about wanting to do this and out of sight, out of mind, and now you've put it right back front and center. So thank you. We were talking yesterday about DD being at a potential support area, right? So we had DD. What was the news here? That I can't remember it. Downgrade. So they announced preliminary earnings and guidance here, and DDD really kind of sold off. We actually got some lowered price targets as well. Wells Fargo downgrading it to equal weight, lowering the price target to 69. By the way, that's still 5 points above where we were at here. There was another downgrade here I wanted to mention. BMO Capital downloading this to market perform, lowering the price target to 72, again, above where we were. The thesis here at 13 is that we traded down to a support level, and this might be a potential bounce spot here. Actually thinking of organizing a butterfly trade the same way I did on Humana.
Okay. For this one, to me, I mean, just on a technical read, it seems like 66.50 might be a good profit-taking area if you're playing the bounce here. And, there's a lot of gap to fill. So there's that. That could, on some really good news, it could come back up. But 66.52 or 66.50 looks like this spot where if I was going to play this bounce, I'd want to start getting out there or all the way out there. So Acon came back in after going over VWAP slightly. What else is going? Okay, so it looks like PRCH is trying to recover from that knife. CRPB is open and going higher. And it's probably
remember that's already been halted 3 times. So I wonder if the rule of 3 on the halts means that our next halt here is to the downside.
Yeah, Crypto Peter, that's absolutely right. DWAC and Fun are absolutely worthless. They're just great trading vehicles.
What else? Organize this butterfly trade here.
Not a problem. I've only tried Acon twice. Got one win there and one loss in there. So I just pretty flat right now. Maybe I need some more Bailey's infused coffee.
All right, filled on that butterfly here. So we got a 4-to-1 risk to reward, risking 200, max profit 800 on that trade. We'll see if we end up bouncing back here on DD. That butterfly swing opened here for a bounce back, keeping it small. CRBP, this really turning around here. Gosh, that 3-halt thing, man, that 3-halt rule. Let's see if it does halt to the downside here. CRBP.
Almost able to set your watch to it.
I mean, it's wild.
What else is moving? Looks like AMSC that you were talking about earlier, still pushing up to newer highs. Those 9 and 15 EMA crossing VWAPs really do add more fuel to that fire.
Look at this MREO. I think it was Rick talking about this one earlier. Rick saying, anyone want to do some due diligence on a swing for a long-term hold, check out MREO. 175 to 2 at the end of 2023. It broke 4 today. I would imagine if we take a look at the chart, that's probably split adjusted on MREO. But this is strong here today, doing a really good job riding above the VWAP. No position here for me. The daily chart looking really good. Stock at this 150 breakout has really performed well. I guess there was a period in here where we were trading sideways, but recently stocks moving up here, MREO.
Looks like RUM came in beneath VWAP, found support from the 9 EMA, and now it's back above VWAP. I don't know if this is going to, try to push to new highs, but it could.
RUM doing a good job holding right there above VWAP. Interestingly enough, 13, if we take a look at ACON, that did move back up to the VWAP, but instead of pulling like it did the first time, it's kind of holding there. This leads me to believe that maybe we have kind of a back and forth here, and we actually take this VWAP and move higher. Now, with that being said, this could very easily pull from this level. So we're just kind of watch to see which way this resolves.
Yep. We need to. I want to see a close above VWAP on the 5-minute. That would be good.
Sorry. Some stats here from our chat. Really appreciate the assists here. Smoke Tuna saying MREO cash runway is 17 months. David Lynn mentioning that MREO did have no splits. Okay, there you go. Look at this. ACON, as we're talking here, pulling down from that VWAP here.
Yeah, that's good with the MREO because that cash runway, at least 1 year out, they still can survive without doing any cash raises like offerings. So that's
frankly, it's almost 1.5 years out. But you're exactly right. You're exactly right on that. Wiss, you might be exactly right here too. CRBP trapping some shorts. Sure looks like that. Looks like this is going to kind of roll over. Now we've traded back up into the 4th halt. That's 4 upside halts here on CRBP. Absolute monster here today.
Yes, sir. All right, time to find something else. Looks like DWAC's really getting whacked right now. See if it gets down to 36.45. That would be a big pull, and that would be the end of the bull flag that they had going on there.
DWAC holding right here under that VWAP.
Looks like Vera is trying to come back up now. Had a bit of cooling off, held VWAP pretty nicely, and now it's trying to get back through that level of 31.50.
Good shout there, 13. Good shout.
Just need that volume. Come on, volume. Lots of things pulling all of a sudden. And there goes Lumen getting pulled. AMSC getting pulled. DWAC pulling further. I bet CRBP probably gets a little pull out of the halt there.
I wouldn't be shocked. Well, you know what? I mean, this thing's been a rager here. And to Wiss's point, if it does have shorts trapped here, there's no telling where this thing can go. MINM being set up here, says Smoke Tuna. 246, yeah, that's right below the VWAP.
That's one of the ones I had on my list, but I wasn't too sure about it. They do have a low float, 1.7 million, and they just had an agreement with Motorola, and they make devices for Motorola. So not sure what's in that agreement or how much revenue that means for them, but the fact that it's low float and that news helps it get pushed around easier.
Ticker BAH. This is Booz Allen Hamilton Holdings. Trading higher after the company reported good earnings here and good guidance. Provider of management consulting services to the U.S. government. Cloud computing, cybersecurity consulting, and engineering consulting. Okay.
I remember this one from a couple of years ago. I think I brought this up to Happy Hour a while ago, like a long time ago, when I was mentioning EQIX for the first time.
Yeah, Jay mentioned this earlier. New highs, consulting names have been strong. Accenture would be another one, ticker ACN.
But this was years ago. This was when it was still under 100. Wow, look at this thing go. Nice find. All right. Okay, so seeing some green and DWAC here. Maybe it did find a bottom. I'm just wait and see what happens to that. What's going on with Vera? Did that move up yet? Yep. Holy cow. Looks like 33.50 might be on the radar here.
Bring it up here.
Yeah, Vera's looking real interesting here. Like it's going to push up to that 33.50. Just, you know, it needs a little bit more volume, but because it's starting to slow down, but technicals look good. What are we?
EHTH here. This popped, and this looks like this might be returning to the highs. ABNB for Airbnb.
eHealth. I don't know about eHealth. ABNB. Okay. So this one's moving up. I don't like
good
this
daily
company
formation here. I don't either, but it's a good daily chart.
Yeah, I think. Let me look at the daily because I'm only looking at 5 minutes. Yeah, it's going sideways still. I have to think that this is going to start to do badly at some point. I don't like their business model, and the whole Airbnb idea is really starting to make property owners dislike it.
Yeah, well, we're seeing, like, again, comes from another happy hour discussion where we have realtors as their expertise in there.
Yeah.
There's been some discussion, especially in the Arizona area, that people that purchased Airbnbs for the purpose of renting them out, trying to sell them now, right? Either not able to keep up with the mortgage or the demand for the Airbnb is just not there, and looking to sell those coming on the market, in effect, lowering some of the prices of other houses as they're trying to get those things sold. With interest rates high, not easy. So Airbnb, like I said, I go back and forth on this. The concept is cool, and there are a lot of cases where it's better to have an Airbnb than a hotel room. But at the end of the day, yeah, I'm just not sure on the stock. And I got to think that the consumer continues to tighten their belt a little bit, which might mean less travel. Jesse, happy Friday. Go Lions is right. Been following on Twitter some of the training that you're doing. Looks like you're doing pretty well, my man. Keep up the good work, and let's hope for a big day on Sunday, dude.
And CRBP is unhalted and now over 30. Good Lord.
Wiss bought this in the pre-market. Wiss, you are having a hell of a day, man. What golf course are you going to here today? Imagine you got to be hitting the links. Just close up shop early. Good morning, Wisdom. Great to see you.
Hi, Wisdom. Show me the money. Well, let me direct your attention to CRBP and WIS. There's the money.
Rob asking, how do you feel about where Run is right now? So this is an interesting question here, because I think that these solar names are going to be more in play around the election. And I think that one of the things that you can look for in terms of election theming is if it looks like it's going to be a Trump win, you can go for some of the drillers. And if it looks like it's going to be a Trump loss, and I say Trump loss because I'm not even sure who's going to run on the other side, you might have some action there with some of these solar names. Now, I don't like Run where it's at. I don't like any solar name in a high interest rate environment. This is not something that I'm looking to buy right now. And if you actually take a look here at the daily chart, you can see that this is kind of hanging out right between its 100 and its 50-day moving average. I want to have this establish some type of direction before we talk about trading this one.
Yeah, I'm looking at run, and I can see like almost every day, it just opens, it runs out of the open, and then it absolutely just crashes. Some days it ends up closing a little bit higher, but it seems like all the big moves come out of the open, and then we just leak all day, mostly.
Wisdom, going down the road of 13 here. Solar had its day to play in the sun.
Yeah,
Busting the dad jokes out. Let's go.
And to your point about the attention that they're getting, and the election, and as well as the Inflation Reduction Act and the Infrastructure Act, these were some of the companies that were going to benefit from that. But as we were mentioning earlier, we're not really looking into those green plays since they're kind of out of favor right now. We want to focus on the ones that are not green plays that are benefiting from those bills.
Let's go back to CRBP here. I'm actually, let me get this. Oh my God, CRBP.
It halted again.
Fifth halt, all to the upside here. CRBP. Wiss, I think you're getting your short squeeze cover here, honestly. 13, you got this for a sec. I got to step away for just 1 second here.
Sure. Yeah, CRBP. I don't even know where this is going to end up, but when the market or everybody trading this decides it's time to take profits, that could be an ugly candle. So be careful with that one. Still waiting for DWAC to come back. It's been holding up on the 15 EMA on the 5-minute. VWAP that I currently have at 38.35. So that would be something that I'd anticipate we run up to if we can start to get some more volume in that. A lot of red in the market today. Making all your money with this VX. You know, Wisdom, I did have that at one point, and I went from about 60 to over 120 in that one. I thought, this is good. I'll take my profits and go home. And that was a really good long hold. But you're still holding it, and I think that's a smart idea because it is a great company, and they also have other things going on besides just oil. They're trying to get into geothermal energy, so they're trying to diversify how they generate energy. Acon, are we still seeing that move now? Is that going back up? Oh, here we go, back to VWAP. Is it going to push through this time? We find out now. Ally.
All right, sorry about the delay there.
No worries.
Oops.
So Ally, you're talking about Ally Financial, I assume. Let me see if that's what it is. This thing had some really, really high short interest when I looked at it last. Where are we at with that now?
Is it ALLY? Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so maybe it must have been a while because this was. I thought this had higher short. No, I'm sorry. It was Root. It was Root that I had high short interest. I got those two confused. What's going on with Ally, though?
Jay was saying Ally has been a beast since earnings. Got this one wrong. Thought for sure that they would be affected by the auto loans.
Okay, here we go. Acon now finally breaking through VWAP, and we could be taking off here with this one.
Some size here at 350. We'll see if that falls here on Acon.
Wisdom. I did take a lot of my profit in Zim as well, and I am actually starting to get reloaded now. I wanted to wait until it got down to below 1350. Got some yesterday. Going to end up getting some more today as well.
But they tried to hit that spot at 350, but pulled it off here.
Okay, what else are we looking at here? Looks like Airbnb made another new high in the intraday session. 144.38 is what I have. BAH kind of holding above VWAP. This could make another move pretty soon. I don't know how high it's going to go though. It's not a low float, so I don't know that this is going to move a whole lot.
Which ticker? I beg your pardon.
BAH.
Oh, BAH. The one we talked. Gotcha.
Yeah. Some of these names that have the large floats, they don't move quite as volatile as the low floats that have like 1 million shares or less. So,
Rum next leg up here right off that VWAP could call Boonski. Acon, we'll see if it actually takes that 350 here. You've pulled off that spot a few times.
Yeah, this was one that we were talking about. No, what was the one we were talking about setting up that had that flag? Was that
PRCH,
PRCH?
right? And it looks like it tried to go to the top end of the range and then yanked beneath. Was this it? Because we talked about this
I
one
think
being
so.
a flag here on the 3-minute. Yeah.
Yeah, that one got yanked. And CRBP is open, and guess what? We're making new highs.
So it's just continuing to run here. Well, I think it's official 13. I missed this one. I mean, you could have bought this at any one of those halts and you would have been fine. Wisdom saying, Ryan, where's the brand new ball cap? You and 13 could be twinning. Be the hat traders here. Say again?
Get a Lions cap.
I'm a Bears fan, dude. I mean, look, here's the thing. Like, I'm absolutely rooting for the Lions, and I root for the Lions in every game that they play in which they do not play the Bears. I do have a Lions t-shirt. Hats. I'm not a huge hat guy. I'll wear them occasionally, so I feel like I reserve that for my home teams. My favorite hat right now is the free Harbaugh to Chicago hat, but obviously with him being hired by the Chargers, looks like that's the end of that chapter.
Oh, is it time to burn that hat?
I'm not going to burn anything. I like it very much. I'm not one of those guys that burns sports stuff when stuff doesn't happen. Look, first of all, I'm a Chicago sports fan, so stuff rarely happens the way I want it to happen. If I was burning a whole bunch of shit when that happened, I'd be in big trouble. We're not there. We got a little bit more control over my sports fandom.
All right, folks. What else are we looking at right now? I mean, I don't want to keep going back to PR or CRBP. Oh, we're getting a pull now, finally.
Acon trying to build above the VWAP here. CRBP is pulling. We'll see if we get some downside halts there. DWAC about 38.5, so that's still under 40 here. MREO just under 4.
Well, the thing with DWAC is that it pushed up above VWAP, or my VWAP anyway, and we're through that 38.50 level.
Mine as well.
Looking pretty decent for a recovery here, but let's see. Man, Acon really does want to get over that VWAP and stay over it. We just keep trying for it, but I have this feeling that it's gonna fail again and get pulled. I could be wrong though. Market just looks tired.
That's what makes a market, though. That's what makes a market.
Yeah, Acon is a battle. Absolutely. I want a runner though. EHTH, eHealth that we were mentioning earlier. That's trying to get to the pre-market highs of 724. It's making its way up there incrementally. Oh, it looks like Acon might be getting some strength here. I just don't know with this one. Every time it looks like it's about ready to pop, it just gets smacked down.
Wiss out of CRBP, 100% gain on the equity trade. Wiss, excellent job here today. Great trading.
Yeah, that was awesome. And I hope we see you again, because with those figures, you're probably not going to need us anymore.
Wiss has been a long-time supporter. Wiss likes golf. Wiss likes the community. He's part of it. We'll see him again. Jane Smith says, LOL, Acon, been mine all morning. Come on, baby. Love it. Love it.
AMSC is recovering and had a nice big green candle in this 5-minute interval that we're in right now.
Market turned around here too. So tech moving towards the highs, Dow at the highs, SPY moving towards the highs. So market bouncing here.
What are they just shaking out the weak hands and like, all right, now let's rip this thing. Okay, Acon is doing better.
Still we got some size here, 358 on Acon if we take the cap off.
Yep. And 360.
Wiss, I hear every day, unless I'm golfing. Look, that is not a bad spot to be in. We'll take that. We'll take that any day of the week.
Just have your caddy hold the phone while we stream while you're golfing.
I don't know if I've told this group, but I'll make it real quick. My best ever experience on the golf course, my best ever experience was the Benzinga golf outing, not last year, but the year before. My foursome, we're playing at Jason's Country Club, by the way. No, AT. No, I know you want to get in here and say you beat everyone's ass. I got it, AT, but that's not what the story's about. Okay. So anyway, that's Aaron Thomas does not miss an opportunity to remind people that he's good at golf. My best ever golf moment, we're at Jason's Country Club. I think it's like the 5th or 6th hole or something like that. After a huge torrential rain, we're playing a 4-man scramble. Get a huge tee shot, and then another really, really good iron shot. And on this par 5, on the 3rd shot, my teammate Jamie, who's still here with Benzinga, chipped in for eagle. Now that's not the craziest part. This is a work day, right? Our golf outing is on a work day, and Jamie Miller is on a call. And I hope that whoever he was on the call with is not watching this, and I'm not kind of spoiling it, but he's literally on a call, a business call. And he puts the phone, toggles mute on his phone to step up and hit his chip. Well, he chips in for eagle. So we're all running around the golf course, flapping our arms like we're flying like a bird. We're hooting and hollering. Can't believe we just did this. And he's joining us. He's running with us. And then all of a sudden, just at the drop of a hat, just stops, puts on a serious face, unmutes, and just resumes the call. And I was like, that is one of the most epic things I've ever seen. Not only was it an eagle, but it was also mixed in sales call. Shout out Jamie Miller.
Man, that's a pretty amazing to be able to switch from one box like that to another. That's crazy. Just to be able to just have that. Okay, I'm in this box. Yeah, I'm partying everything. Okay, got to go back to this box. Now I'm in business.
Unbelievable.
That's discipline.
AT, you have something you want to share with the group or something, or what are you doing back there? No. Okay, you just want to remind me just to kind of, I got you. My man, AT in the back right there. We're out here having fun. Okay, real quick here. We do have just about 28 minutes left here, folks. It's actually been a great week. We're going to keep on rolling. Smash up the like 413, the show, the trades, and all of the money. And then, of course, after this, we do have all access. Zunaid is actually going to be coming back on. Zunaid is going to be interviewing Bitdeer at 11. So stick around for all access. The redirect is already set. Nobody has to do anything. My man Zunaid with his fresh cut going to be interviewing Bitdeer. So stick around for that. We still have some money to make here in the next 28 minutes. Let's get it rolling. I don't really see anything else new yet. Oil pressing the highs here.
Yeah, I'm looking for some setups. You know, DWAC has been recovering. It's holding VWAP now, but you know, it's producing some pretty ugly top wicks. So I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens to that. And I'm sure that as soon as I say that, it's just going to completely rip, because that's how it likes to do me. You know, AMSC still making new highs.
Let's take a look at that.
CRBP, dare I say that I may have found support. Not going to try anything with that one. It's had a great run already, but well, let's see if that support that I found is going to hold up.
I like this comment here. Smoke Tuna says, well, I was working on a project in Africa. My boss goes with the country manager every day for a lunch meeting to a golf course. Meeting seems to last 4 hours. Yeah, it's because that's about what 18 holes takes to play. So yeah, not surprised there.
They have a lot to discuss, sir. They have a lot to discuss.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So Vera looks like that movement here on Vera is over, as this pretty much just continues to kind of flag back and forth there.
Yeah, but the fact that it got up to 30 and it went higher, that's crazy. And you know, this one was hitting levels all day yesterday. Just great. Vera was just a great mover yesterday and today. You know, when I look at the yeah, it does look like it's kind of forming a bit of a bull pennant here. It's going to have to make a move in one direction or the other pretty soon, though, in my opinion. Yeah, just kind of things just holding in position, it seems.
Yep, and I'm kind of looking around here.
Yeah, like AMSC just kind of had a pretty big pull. We're probably going to get a lot of choppiness today. That's just been the way that the market's been trading off these earnings and some of these economic reports.
They're kind of holding in here. Things definitely seem to have slowed down a little bit here. Let me check the Twitter streets. I don't think I've done that enough yet today. See what Twitter is trading out there. Netflix, by the way, is still at highs as I glance over at the Netflix chart.
Yeah, I just don't want to say, oh, it looks like this is doing that, because the volume is so low. I can't really get a good read on some of these. Smoke Tuna, you're saying Akon, watch 15-minute MACD for green in the run. Let's take a look here. It's okay. So yeah, this one's starting to really move up now. And we're about to get some EMA crossings on this one. So this could really move.
Okay, so here's what Smoke Tuna is looking at, I believe.
There we go.
I know it might be difficult to see, but here's the dip, the bottoming process, the move back through VWAP. This is the 15-minute chart, by the way. And now you see that MACD histogram was negative and now is moving positive. We also might get a signal line cross here. So to your point, 13, maybe this is moving here.
Yep. Thank you, Smoke Tuna, for pointing that out. Let me take a closer look at what these orders are. Okay, so 375 and 389. That's really okay. So one size there, the 375 just got taken out. This could push up a little bit more, but I'd be concerned about the 389. That's a lot of selling pressure there. So now
Jane
we are
Akon 368. Nice trade, Jane.
So we're over 375, trying to push higher. At 389, I'm thinking we're gonna, if we break through that, then I'm not sure where this is gonna end up, but 389 is the next big size. So there's good potential that it gets smacked down at that level. It certainly keeps on trucking. And good job on the trade, Jane Smith.
Yeah.
Just waiting and watching.
Hey, Jane saying thanks. That kind of evened out my loss on PRZO. Jane, keep in mind that good clawback there, right? There's nothing wrong with if this came from Jay Weil, or excuse me, this came from Jay. Boy, easy for me to say. This came from Jay Rice. It's okay to be wrong, but it's not okay to stay wrong. So if you make a bad trade, there's no reason you can't claw that back. Awesome job, awesome dedication getting back to it, and now staying green. So
RVSN might be going here,
bringing that up.
Gets through 860, could be quite a mover. Okay, well, I said that and got rejected after it punched through it and got rejected. Just a few cents over 860. Might not be done. Let's see what happens. The volume is still pretty good in this one.
SPY to the pre-market highs here.
Oh my Lord, what is it going to do? Is it going to go to 500? I mean, the money's just not leaving the market. So, we can get out of one thing and just go right to the next thing.
Exactly.
DWAC coming in. So CRBP getting a bit of an interesting formation here. If we get support to continue above 25, because I know it's like almost at 28 right now, but if support holds at 25, I'd be interested to see if it can reverse off that area.
And so here you go. Maybe actually it looks like maybe we're reversing. What was this? 27. Looks like we might be reversing off 27 so far here.
That's I have the 9 EMA up in that area. Okay. I'm just being, a little bit, giving myself a little bit more wiggle room here, sure. Going down to the 15 EMA, where 25 is in that area. We could just shoot down. Okay, well, there goes Rail Vision, RVSN. So if you took it when I had mentioned it was about to go, you're probably doing pretty good. Man, this thing has just been a monster every day. You know,
Sure has. EHTH, this was a really good call from the VWAP earlier, Tuna. But you're right, 13. RVSN gives us trades every day this week.
Yeah, just got to wait for those things to happen. They shoot out of the gate, kind of consolidate for a little bit, and then, woo, here we go.
Woo. Acon 370 here on Acon.
Yep. So we still have that size.
Hey, your Xerox printing above 19 now.
Oh, man. Yeah, we're copiers. I don't think we're done with copiers yet. You know, a lot of government agencies, a lot of real estate companies, a lot of rentals companies still use Xerox quite a bit. Now, I'm not talking just the company. I'm talking like photocopiers. Still in use. All right, so CRBP looks like it's starting to come back now. So it looks like you're right. That 27 was was the level. It's trying to make its way back up. It's
you know what will be interesting here on CRBP to me is, do we actually make new highs, or do we get reject? You know, does it make like a lower high? Because if so, I think maybe we do come in that $25 level that you talked about.
Well, I would just have to look at where all the sell orders are have the most size at, and right now I only see 29.81. So that might be what pushes it down, and it's you know, it's providing some resistance right now. We can see that. All right. Yeah, I don't have anything that I can really point out at the moment that looks like it's got a good setup. Just Rail Vision, man. It went up to $9.11 and pulled. I don't think it's quite finished yet. We'll have to see. Might continue its move up in the next within the next 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes tops.
BCRX, this right beneath that VWAP there, a little bit of size above.
Vera.
Rob, excuse me, saying Acon might be moving back towards the VWAP. You said Mara 13?
No, Vera, VERA.
Oh, Vera, my bad.
No worries. It's trying to return. Wisdom, you're talking about like a year plus for INTC?
He's saying if this goes down to 42 or 42.50, that might be your buy area for Intel.
Yeah, he's. I was just kind of wondering on his time horizon there, if it was like for a swing or a day trade, or if it's like a long hold.
Acon, yeah, this might. I think this was a good call, 13. I don't think this is done yet. Acon.
Well, we had a lot of other people in chat pointing out that there is some strength left in Acon. I think the praise should go to them, because I kind of was starting to write that one off. Sun Run. I'm really surprised that this is, having the strength that it does right now. But, the PCE, I think that we're going to have this idea that rates are getting cut sooner rather than later off that PCE report. I think that's just something that is driving the smaller names right now. CRBP is still looking like we could make another new high.
EYPT moving back towards its highs too. What a call this was, EYPT.
Yeah, that was a good day.
Yeah, that was a really good day, man. Zoltan. The amount of great teammates that we have both in the community and here at Benzinga, it really just floors me on a daily basis. One of the best parts about waking up and coming to work, honestly.
What was that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody trying to, make an announcement that they're here. They like walking down out of backstage like it's WWE.
I was gonna say, was that like that must have been producer doing something? Maybe Zunaid's back there messing around. I don't know.
Kind of giving us like a heads up, like, hey, it's time for me.
Yeah, I think we're getting messed with. That's what I think. I think it's a funky Friday, and I think we got AT and Zunaid in the back with shenanigans left and right over here. Is what I think.
What am I drinking?
that Bailey's really creeping up on
Yeah,
you.
I'm hearing music now.
Oh man, that is funny. That is funny. It sounded good though, says Rick. Okay, well, see, now that you've done, see, the producers are like stray animals. Once you feed them with compliments, they keep coming back, and that's exactly what you've done now. So look for that to keep coming back. See.
What kind of animal feed do they eat?
Man, I don't know. We're gonna have to ask them.
Burgers and beer? Is that what it is?
I'm almost thinking that what that might have been is an accidental slip of the soundboard, and then they just kind of played it off like G's. That's what I think.
Oh, gotcha. Soundboard doing AI things.
AI things. Great AI mention. Great AI mention on that one.
Generative AI wants to be part of the show now.
Oh man.
Can you imagine? Hey, it's Ryan Faluna 13 and the Benzinga bot.
The Benzinga bot's just out here cracking jokes, playing sounds.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself, Wiz. Great work this week.
Yes.
Go low if you play this weekend.
Awesome trading today and the whole week, Wiz. Have a good weekend. Yeah, CRBP still really trying there. If it doesn't make it doesn't break to the upside soon, it's probably coming in. Just needs some more love.
James asking about, how about bets? This is Bit Brother. Wasn't this the one that had the 1 for 1,000 reverse split? Not something I buy here. Interesting formation here today, but just not something that I'm going to trade.
I'll get you an answer on that too, because I remember. Yes, this is the one.
It is
1,000 to 1 on
1,000 to 1, baby.
What's with bets? I mean, are we looking at it because we have the Super Bowl, or not the Super Bowl? Yeah, we have the Super Bowl coming up next month, and we have the games this weekend that determine who's going to the Super Bowl.
Yep, man, I can't wait. Basim, have a great weekend. Thanks for all of your support and participation. Enjoy it. We'll see you on Monday.
You're gonna have to sing that for us, Lynn, the next time you're in happy hour. I want to know all the verses.
Oh gosh.
Sounds like a fun song. I want to hear more.
So this Bit Brother, I'm looking at the company description here, and it says Bit Brother, formerly Urban Tea, through its subsidiaries, operates in 2 business segments: tea shop chains and blockchain and digital asset mining. Wait, let me ask you guys, what is the synergy between those 2 business lines, between tea shops and blockchain digital asset mining? Interesting. Through tea shop chains, the company is engaged in its specialty tea products distribution and retail business. I don't even think that they have anything to do with betting. I'm seeing Holy Acon in the chat.
Oh, did it finally pull?
It knifed. Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there it is.
It knifed.
That's how they get you. But getting out when you did.
We have a new IPO today. HAO. This one was not on my radar.
Heyo. HAO.
That was so easy. I was like, well, how did I miss that? It was so easy.
All right, so I guess that's what we're calling it now.
Okay, shares open for trade at 425, halted to the upside here at 468. This may be, is a China name. Hoxi Health Technology is an online marketing solutions provider in China with an advertiser client base mainly in the healthcare industry. So that's going to be your
marketing advertising.
Yeah. Marketing.
Healthcare advertising. That's what I'm hearing.
Here, let me read that again. Healthcare marketing an online marketing solutions provider in China for the healthcare industry. That that IPO not on my radar. I'm okay with admitting that.
Yeah, even if it comes on my radar, I'm just going to ignore it.
Well, at least you're honest.
It does have a low float, so I could see this getting pushed around. I just don't want to help.
I want to be a part of that.
I don't want to
We
help.
trade some other stuff that's moving. By the way, Rumble did take 6. That's moving higher here. 635, your intraday high print on Rumble. Save, by the way, after the sell-off here today, really kind of just flagging here, pinned on its VWAP.
Yeah, so you remember remember yesterday, SXTC? Just go ahead and take a look at that one, and just give you an idea of why I don't like to touch those China names.
So this big thing that ran up to what, 310 and is currently at 184 is bled all day yesterday.
Yeah, and it's bleeding more now.
Bled all day. All right. 10 minutes until All Access and Zunaid's interview. I know you folks all miss Zunaid. You're going to get your dose of Zunaid and fresh cut here today, so be sure to stick around. You don't have to do anything. Redirect already set. We will take you to that interview. Take a look at DD, by the way. Remember, this is what we were talking about on another potential bounce play here for DuPont. Did opened up a butterfly here on this one today. We keep bouncing. Would love to see this go back towards 67. 4-to-1 risk to reward on this potential trade.
DD, and then as others have mentioned, Run. That one's, well, it's having a nice run. And then Airbnb also kind of rallied out of the open here, and we got up to 146.37. So those trades worked out nicely. DWAC might be pushing up here.
Yeah, and actually it just went a little bit higher than this last bounce through the VWAP. PBLA getting mentioned. Maybe this is slowing down. So what Smoke Tuna is doing here is, it's when these things come into support, he's noticing that this is a support level, coming off a support level. Looking at this MACD down here, we've got these lines pitching up. Perhaps this MACD turning green. We want to see that expand to the green side here. PBLA, this might be entry here.
It's a possibility for RVSN to go to 10.
Order flow trader, you were asking about the new IPO ticker. It was HAO, Hotel Alpha Oscar.
Heyo, that's all you got to remember.
Hey, that's all you got to remember. Heyo.
All right, just cycling through some of these other ones again. I wanted to see how CRBP is doing. Still kind of making a bit of a flag. What else? DWAC. Okay, it's starting to go there. We're up to $39. See a little bit more volume.
Wisdom saying that CRBP is about to knife down. And I think I see what he's talking about here. If it's losing this, 27, this is what we talked about earlier. Remember 13, we bounced off that 27. We lose that 27, maybe we do knife. What did you have, 25 as your as the next level down?
25 and then VWAP.
25 and VWAP, there you go.
So if we do knife, those would be some levels I'd consider. And it looks like DuPont, DD, that's coming in a bit after having a nice move up to 65.31.
For my particular trade, what I'd really like to see is a cross through 67.50, which was the low end of the wing that I took on that butterfly. Excuse me, the body of the butterfly was that 67.50. Low wing was 65, high wing was 70.
Yeah, I have 3 trades today. 2 of 3 worked. I did 1 Rail Vision and I did 2 in Acon.
I had 1 day trade and 1 new swing entry, and the day trade worked and the swing entry holding up here.
AMSC might get another push, possibly. The high it has right now in intraday is 1454. It is currently at 1420. Looks like we've got a bit of a pullback in DWAC. I still think that this could get some momentum to the upside. This momentum to the upside if we can get some of these EMAs to cross VWAP. You said P. Which one?
CRBP is continuing to break down from that 27 level.
Yep. Okay.
William, nice to see you here. Do you guys ever trade NRGU, NRGD with the drip and gush and the other oil stocks as indicators? So I actually don't trade NRGU. That's the Bank of Montreal levered ETFs, both to the bull and the bear side. I don't trade those. I've dipped my toe in gush and drip. I'm not a big oil trader myself. 13, you've traded oil a little bit. Do you ever trade NRGU or NRGD?
No, I prefer the midstreams.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
And Scott, there was another point that was being brought up in Happy Hour about how some of the drillers might be really, really good if it looks like we're going to get a Republican presidency.
Yeah,
particularly Trump. So those might be good if that's where we're headed.
Oh,
that. I don't know. Is this it? That's not really.
I can barely hear you. I just hear the fat beat that AT is laying on top of us here.
Hey, can we blame AT? I'm so sorry.
No, we can't blame AT.
There we go. Sorry about that. Had to figure out some tech stuff in the back.
You were getting
sounded like it worked.
You were getting your haircut trimmed up. Don't even start.
I did. I got my haircut yesterday. I wish I got it for All Access yesterday, but we've got another solid interview that I'm excited about. With Bitcoin being the buzz, you've got
Tell us about
Coinbase that's ripping up as well. So you've got my man Harris from Bitdeer is going to talk to us. It's interesting because anytime you talk to anyone from the Bitcoin world, I always like to see how we can kind of diversify ourselves, whether you want to get now the spot ETF, whether you want to own the crypto itself, or you want to go in the mining world. And got some interesting news that came out a couple of days ago that I'll let my man Harris go ahead and talk about it. But appreciate you gentlemen for holding it down, man.
You got it.
No problem. We've been having fun all morning. It's tough to bring this group down it's tough to bring this group down any day. But look, on a Friday, we came out here ready to play. 13 came out, Bailey's loaded up in the coffee. Like we're ready to go. Like this is we're not even joking around here today.
I like it. I do like the WWE lifestyle though. I think I might need to figure out my own intro. I don't know, some Punjabi music to get me on or something. We'll figure it out. I'll talk to AT about that. But appreciate you folks. AT, I assume you're ready to go as well based on your Slack. But happy trading to y'all.
Okay, Zunaid, look, we're ready. I will say things kind of slowed down here. We did have a really good week. There was a lot of stuff to do. I'm really pleased with the chat this week. They have done an absolutely wonderful job with participation. There were days this week where between 13 in the chat, there were so many tickers. I couldn't flip through them all. I couldn't even trade them all. So the idea generation part of this, the process approach that we talk about all the time, we really kind of shine this week.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. So.
All right,
Zunaid, we're gonna make way. Good luck on your interview. 13, thanks again. We're gonna see you folks next week. I'm gonna get 13 out of here. I'm gonna get myself out of here. Zunaid, good luck. Awesome. Have an awesome interview. Excuse me, and enjoy your weekend.
It's all right. I appreciate you saying great interview, guys, because it's always going to be a good one. No question about it. But what's up, chat? Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. And you know what we love to do here at Benzinga is to talk to executives from publicly traded companies so we can get your questions answered in the chat. You guys were so active with the one that we did yesterday, and I look forward to your engagement here today. We've got another good one here. Like I said, it has to do in the Bitcoin world. You've got Bitdeer. Ticker on the NASDAQ is BTDR, and I've got the Chief Strategy Officer, Harry Basit, hanging out with me. All Access starts right now. Good morning, Harris. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Zunaid.
I know it's just like 3 hours backwards for you, so I know it's quite early, so I appreciate you for waking up for this one.
No problem. Thank you. By the way, I'd love to have your hair. I'd kill
yeah. Listen, I want you to come back, so I won't make any jokes, but you can take as many jabs as you want yourself. But look, I'm really excited. Like I said, I love talking about Bitcoin because there's so many different ways that you can have a diversified portfolio within the space of Bitcoin as well. And I know you had some recent news come out. We'll dive into that. I know our chat's active for that as well. But before we get into all of that, if you could explain it to me like I'm five, what is it that your company does?
So we are in the Bitcoin space, and we are doing primarily right now Bitcoin mining. And so there are several public companies doing Bitcoin mining, but we are very unique in that crowd, in that we're the only one that is really technology focused. So most Bitcoin mining companies, they find low cost energy locations, sometimes in Texas and in other locations. They build fairly simple data centers. They buy third party hardware to do the mining, and then they mine. we do all of that as well. But in addition to that, 1/4 of our people, 25% of our workforce, are R&D folks. We're heavily invested into technology, and that allows us to dramatically lower the cost of our mining operations. So the infrastructure, we've invested heavily into that. We make our own containers, our own equipment in that sense. And Cantor Fitzgerald just came out with an analysis that shows that we have by far the lowest cost of mining among all the public mining companies. And we've recently announced that we're getting into the chip business and making the mining rigs themselves. That's by far the highest cost and the scarcest asset for Bitcoin miners. And it's a big technological jump to be able to do that. Our executives, we have Jihan Wu as our chairman. He's the founder not only of Bitdeer, which is our current company, but of Bitmain, currently the largest manufacturer of mining hardware. I have a background in semiconductors. I've launched several semiconductor companies, and a group I put together really was the one that invented the modern ASIC the way it's designed today. And back in 2014, using largely analog design techniques to do a digital chip. And so we are heavily invested in technology that's driven our cost of Bitcoin mining down. And in the future, it's going to make even much more dramatic difference. Plus, we're full service. We do mining for ourselves. We host miners for others. We help other people set up data centers. And in the near future, we'll be selling them mining rigs as well. So the breadth and then the depth, the vertical integration that we have through our technology is really a big differentiator. Because if you look at any of the other large public mining companies, there's almost zero R&D because they're really operations companies.
So why the vertical integration though? Is that just like, as you mentioned, to have a lower cost because you're kind of doing things in-house? So you're kind of having the cost up front, but in the long term, it's kind of paying off. Is that the reason for it? Or is there something else that I'm missing here?
It's more, there's at least three reasons, right? One is it's in our DNA. I've got a technology background from Silicon Valley. What I know how to do is create new products that are heads and shoulders better than anything that existed in the past. Jihan Wu is similarly situated. He's, basically got this background of developing hardware products. Our CEO, Matt Kong, was the senior developer on the largest app in the world, which is WeChat. So part of it is it's in our DNA. The other thing is that you have to have a differentiator. Bitcoin mining can look a lot like a commodity business because just think about it. You're mining a commodity Bitcoin. Everyone's Bitcoin is identical. And you're using energy. Energy is, largely a commodity. And there are people with different priced energy, but over the longer term, the higher priced energy miners will stop mining because their energy costs will be too high. So that sort of levelizes out too. The Bitcoin is level. And then the only difference really is the hardware that you're buying, the mining rigs. And if everyone's buying from the same 2 or 3 suppliers, then that looks a lot like basically a commodity business. You get margin compression. And over the long term, it's not a great business to invest in. And how does management differentiate, right? So if you have the DNA in the technology and it can do this sort of a very big lift of making leading edge chips and mining rigs, very, very few people can do that, then that gives you a huge advantage. And then, of course, being able to be a service provider to the rest of the industry is also a differentiator. So it's a way of maintaining high margins and long-term profitability in a business that otherwise looks like a commodity or a utility.
Well, I wanted to talk about the halving that's coming up here, but of course you have Easy Mike here from the chat who's talking about the similar thing. About the question is, how many Bitcoin miners will be successful once this macro event occurs? What are your thoughts on that, especially in terms of your growth strategy ahead of that? Indeed.
Yeah, so it's hard to say exactly how many will be successful. It depends a lot on what the Bitcoin price is going to be at halving and immediately after halving. I think I'd refer a lot of people to the Cantor Fitzgerald study that just came out for a cost of mining Bitcoin. I think it came out yesterday or the day before. It actually goes through all the public miners and shows what their cost of mining a Bitcoin is. I referred to it earlier. Ours is by far
Right.
the lowest. And so you can draw a line for where you think Bitcoin price is going to be and see which mining companies will be profitable after halving. Now, there's some new things that are going on, right? So there's a lot more money available, capital available in this cycle, halving cycle, than there have been in previous cycles. Partly because there are a lot of public companies with access to public capital. There's a lot of nation states that are doing mining as well. So in those cases, there may be non-economic reasons for them to continue mining, even if they're maybe losing money temporarily at doing that. So I think it's hard to predict. If you tell me what the Bitcoin price is going to be at that time, I think it's easier to predict. I do think there will be, some that don't quite make it to the other side, or will have to struggle. I think there'll be some consolidation as well. I mean, that's inevitable. I think that's good too. There's probably too many out there.
Yeah, I was looking at that report earlier and I talked about how you guys, and again, this is based on a report, not saying it's confirmed by you guys. I'll make that clear for the folks at home. It says mines each coin at the lowest cost of approximately 18,000, while the next company keeps it right below at around 36 or so. So you're correct. There's a big difference there in the cost. What are your thoughts in terms of what challenges do you see, especially in terms of government situations where obviously now, you see the SEC, you've got spot Bitcoin ETFs that are up and running as well. Do you see any challenges with the government maybe not assisting the growth of Bitcoin? And are you well adjusted for those punches that may come?
I mean, I think we're as well situated as anybody. I don't really see the government's job as assisting us. I see it as really the job of regulating the market, protecting customers. And, I think that's needed. There are a lot of people in every industry, but, we've seen that in the Bitcoin industry and in crypto in general that, the regulation is needed. We think the government is stepping forward and, I'm sure more can be done, but that's their primary role. And I think they should continue on that. And I think it's good for everyone. It's especially good for, the average person in order for the average person to really be involved in Bitcoin, I think that there does need to be sound regulation, in the United States and of course worldwide. We feel that's moving in a good direction.
Yeah. And then I believe you had a question in the chat about how with your company, being based in Singapore, where are your mining operations? Looks like we have Samantha that went ahead and answered that. But if you want to correct that, or if you want to confirm that, any additional insights you have on that, but basically where are your mining locations at?
Well, no, Samantha knows better than me, but the mining locations our largest one is in Texas, in a place called Rockdale, just an hour outside of Austin. We have one in Tennessee. We have another one in Washington State. And then outside of the United States, all of our operations are 100% carbon free. In fact, even the Washington State one is 100% carbon free. That's all hydropower. So we have 2 locations in Norway. We have a location in Bhutan, which is a small country north of India. We're going to be opening up new locations in Ohio. And so that's pretty much where our locations are today.
Yeah.
And we also have a artificial intelligence data center in Singapore.
Got it. So you definitely have a growth strategy, especially if you're going to open up these new locations. Final questions for me. I know there's some things that you can't answer just so the SEC doesn't come after us, but anything else in the pipeline that our folks can look forward to that's already publicly available?
No, so I mean, I think our growth strategy is quite, I'm very excited by that, both in the growing our mining operations within our existing footprint, right? So
yeah,
many of our locations have significant capacity to expand. We can expand another 500 megawatts in Bhutan, hundreds of megawatts in Ohio and Texas and Norway. So we can more than double we're already one of the largest in the world, and we can more than double that over the next 2 years. And then in a vertical direction, the ability to sell mining rigs is huge because if you look at it, the largest mining rig manufacturer in the world, Bitmain, it's a private company, so it's a little hard to tell, but by some accounts, its market cap is bigger than all the public mining companies put together.
Well, I appreciate you providing those insights on that. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk to our viewers about before I let you go? The floor is all yours.
No, I mean, I think we're very excited, happy to have this opportunity to talk to them. And, you know, there's feel free to reach out to the company. We have our website for investors that's out there. And, you know, just watch this space. We're going to be doing a lot in, you know, the next several months. So you'll see a lot of activity from us.
Absolutely. And of course, we've got the site and the chat looks better there, but we appreciate you for hanging out. That is Harris Basit, Chief Strategy Officer. See, I told you, Harris. I told you in the green room. I always find a way to butcher it, man. I always do. But I appreciate your time, and I really do.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Absolutely. You take care.
And sorry,
see now you're just getting even. I was gonna say I love Cal. I love no matter what Pat McAfee says, go Aaron Rodgers, you know. But no, I appreciate it, man. I really look forward to other news that might come out, and I'm sure it'll be a great conversation.
Okay. Thank you.
Take care, my man. All right. In chat, we appreciate you as always for being such a great part of the story and part of the conversation here. It's always lovely when you guys ask your own questions. It kind of makes me feel good when we have the same, you know, questions on my cheat sheet here as well. But again, we thank you for watching, and we'll be back on Monday. I know we've got a couple of great things lined up next week as well. But for now, thank you for watching All Access.